Quorum is present, members. Thank you all for being here and being present. Members, I appreciate the opportunity to present Articles 6, 7, and 8 Subcommittee Report containing our recommendations for inclusion in the committee's substitute for Senate Bill 1. This report finalizes the discussions we had over the last few weeks on agency requests and riders submitted by our House colleagues. In addition, this report incorporates any changes made as we wrapped up with Chairman Bonin. Once we adopt these recommendations, and I repeat, these are recommendations, the full Appropriations Committee will meet to adopt them in the committee substitute for Senate Bill 1. I want to thank Vice Chair Lujan and each of you for your participation throughout this process. And before we take a vote on our report, I want to express my sincere thanks on behalf of the committee to all the LWB staff who did an outstanding job assisting us with our recommendations. I also want to thank all the agencies for working with us as well, and all the folks that we talk to on a daily basis regarding these recommendations. So, and LWB is available for any questions that members might have. Members, we will be adopting the Articles 6, 7, and 8 recommendations in one vote as one report, and its contents are not subject to change at this time. The clerk will call the roll.
Chair Wally?
Aye.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Oh, hold on, me.
Hold it. There we go.
All right, is this on?
It's on.
It doesn't sound like it's on. Y'all can hear me? They're saying they cannot hear me. There we
There
go.
you
Okay.
go.
Sounds like it's on. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the chance to make a comment here. As you know, this subcommittee met on March 5th, 6th, and 12th for over 15 hours when over 600 decisions were made and over $5 billion of taxpayer money was allocated. And that these formal meetings took place not in a hearing room like we are in today, but in the corner of the Agricultural Museum without audio and video recording. However, Rule 4, Section 19A, subsection A of the House Rules says, and I quote, "The Committee on House Administration shall ensure that an audio and video recording of any public hearing, formal meeting, or work session of the Committee on Appropriations or a subcommittee of the Committee on Appropriations is made available to the public on the internet in a timely manner." Therefore, I raise a point of order under Rule 4, Section 19A, subsection A, that consideration of this report is clearly out of bounds and out of order because the subcommittee on Articles 6, 7, and 8 did not comply with the House rules.
I appreciate your comments. Are you done?
I have made my point of order.
Okay. Well, again, we are here on recommendations by the members of the committee. These are solely recommendations, and we've discussed on Article 6, 7, and 8, we discussed with the parliamentarians the parameters by which we can meet. All the meetings that we had, formal meetings that we had, complied with House rules and House practice. And so your point of order is, at this time, taken, well, honestly, I'm not the parliamentarian, so I don't decide that, but these, again, are just recommendations to the full committee, and point of order is out of order.
So hang on, so does that mean you are overruling? So you are the one making the ruling on the point of order? It is you, not the House parliamentarians, is that correct?
Look, frankly, we don't decide points of order at this part of the process.
Well, actually, that's not true. According to the House rules under Section 6, duties of the chair of a subcommittee, you are vested with the authority under the House rules that you voted for to preside at all meetings of the committee and to control its deliberations and activities in accordance with acceptable parliamentary procedure. So it actually is you that has to make a ruling on my point of order.
Well, this is I think you need to understand that the rules, and if you read the rules, there's no bill before us.
The rules that I have read make no reference, nor do they require that a bill be pending before the committee or acted upon during the committee. I will read it for you. The Committee on House Administration shall ensure that an audio and video recording of any public hearing or formal meeting of the Committee on Appropriations or a subcommittee must be made available to the public on the internet, and that audio and video recordings took place. None of that occurred. You can go to the House website right now, and no member of the public, not one of the 30 million Texans that we serve, can see how over 600 decisions that allocated over $5 billion of their tax dollars were allocated. There is no way this is in compliance with the House rules. And if you
Okay.
believe it is in compliance with the House rules, I would like to know how it is in compliance with the House rules.
Well, we will not make that determination at this point.
That is your responsibilities as the chairman of this committee, under the House rules that I just read to you. It is not the authority of the parliamentarians. They have no authority to rule in such matters. They are staff of the House.
Okay. Again, members, as I repeat, we will be adopting Articles 6, 7, 8 recommendations. And I repeat, Articles 6, 7, and 8 recommendations in one vote, as one report, and its
Mr. Ch-
content are
what-
subject to change are not
What is the
subject to change.
disposition of my point of order?
That is out of order.
It is not out of order.
The clerk will call the roll.
You are violating the rules of the House that you yourself passed. And if you are ruling that my point of order is being overruled, as you yourself said no less than 3 minutes ago, then, Mr. Chairman, I would like to challenge the ruling of the chair. I make a motion to challenge the ruling of the chair right now. The people of Texas deserve better than this, and they deserve, at a minimum, for us to comply with the rules that you voted on.
Members, again, we're adopting Articles 6, 7, and 8 recommendations
What is
in
the
one vote.
disposition of my point of order? How are you ruling on my point of order?
Your point of order is out of order.
What is the justification for that adjudication?
You've made a motion.
No, I have not made a motion, Mr. Chairman. I have raised a point of order that this committee has violated the rules of the House that you yourself voted for. There is no other reading of the rules of the House. Rule 4, Section 19, Section A, Subsection A, which require that every single formal meeting of this committee be audio recorded, be video recorded, and be put on the internet so that 30 million Texans can know how we are spending their money.
The clerk will call the roll.
This is an outrage. The rules clearly do not apply to committees of the Texas House. They don't apply to subcommittees of the Texas House. Or maybe ask you this. Do they only not apply to committees chaired by Democrats?
So, to respond to you, so on recordings, Section 19A, recordings of appropriations meetings, after, we can skip down to Section B for your reference if you're reading the rules here.
Yep.
To the extent that the current technological capabilities prohibit immediate implementation of this section, the Committee on House Administration shall use the committee's best efforts to conform to the requirements of this section as soon as practical.
And Mr. Chairman, the committee did not utilize best efforts to comply with that rule because we had the technological capability to both audio and video record. I saw your staff and countless other staff in that room that all carry iPhones in their pockets. We could have done a live stream via countless digital platforms, and I had my staff check, and countless formal hearing rooms like the one we are sitting in today were available to this subcommittee. We could have used a room like this that has cameras all over the place, that has microphones. But instead, you had us meet in the corner of a museum somewhere that didn't have cameras and didn't have microphones, in clear violation of the House rules. And if you are going to assert, as it sounds like you did based on something you read that some staffer handed you, that we utilized best efforts, then you need to lay out and explain to the committee exactly what are the best efforts this committee utilized to comply with the House rules. What were the best efforts?
The clerk will call the roll.
So you're acknowledging that you, under your leadership, this committee has violated the House rules at least 3 times and you don't care.
The clerk will call the roll.
I object. How is my point of order being adjudicated?
The
You
clerk,
have to adjudicate a point of order, Mr. Chairman. You have to either overrule me or you have to sustain the point of order. Those are your responsibilities as the Democrat chairman of this committee under the House rules that you voted for.
the clerk will call the roll.
So we're going to allocate $5 billion of my constituents' money and they're never going to know how we made those decisions.
So if all the documents that LBB formulates, they're all published online.
We had
You
15
had-
hours of deliberations, Mr. Chairman. How do my constituents, how do your constituents have any idea the rationale that undergirded over how $5 billion tax dollars were allocated?
The clerk will call the roll.
Chair Wally,
Aye.
Vice Chair Lujan,
Aye.
Barry. Collier.
Aye.
Garcia Hernandez.
Aye.
Harrison.
Absolutely not.
Having 6 ayes, 1 nay, I think we have 1 absent. Yeah, and 1 absent, the report is adopted. Members, thank you again, and I look forward to sharing our work with the full Appropriations Committee next week. Having no further business, and if there's no objection, the House Committee on Appropriations Committee on Articles 6
There
and
is
8
an
stands
objection.
adjourned.
There's an objection. I'm objecting.
We can have a vote.
You said if no objection, we're going to adjourn. I objected.
Okay,
I motion to adjourn. Second.
And I motion to challenge the ruling of the chair. Do I have 2 people to second me? I've got 2 other Republicans up here.
there is no second. Having 6 ayes, 1 nay, 1 absent, the report is adopted. Again, thank you again for all you members for being present. The full Appropriations Committee will also review all of the documents, and they'll have an opportunity to review every decision that was made by this committee. The committee did a good job of deliberating. The LBB did a good job of explaining to the members the parameters by which the committee works. All that was adopted, put into Article 11, not adopted. It was a very fair process, a process where there was a lot of deliberation. There was heated, I would say heated, passionate debates on particular items in the budget, and that's fair. I
Are Texans
appreciate-
just supposed to take your word for that, Mr. Chairman? Because you're not letting them see the video or the audio of that. Are you cutting my mic off?
Yeah.
Are you cutting my mic off, Mr. Chairman?
that
Mr. Chairman.
and
my
there is no
Mr.
objection.
Chairman, my constituents are paying for
The
this.
House Committee on Appropriations Subcommittee, Articles 6, 7, and 8 stands adjourned.